Welcome to Islam Newsroom on Guide Us TV. I'm Tim Howard with you here tonight, and we've got a mess of stories that you're going to want to hear about. Muslim drivers get $250,000 for non-delivery of booze. We need to help the 6 orphan kids whose dad was shot last Friday. Is the sun rising from the west? The earth is shifting. Sharia Islamic banking, does it affect you? Earthquakes around the world. Sunnah, what's the difference? My beard? Garrett Wilders spreads anti-Islam in Australia. Imagine that. Eid holiday in the USA petition is accepted.
MashaAllah, that's some news we got.
You better hear about it.
Yeah, I think we've got some good news with the bad news.
We do.
And to help us with that tonight, of course, you know me, I'm Yusuf Estes, and usually that's my job, but I wanted Tim to kind of get his feet wet. Are your feet wet yet?
My feet are wet.
All right, we'll bring a towel out.
Let's
and
go.
Along with me tonight, we have Dr. Inam with us. Yes, salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
It's lovely to have you with us. And we're
Thank
we're
you
going to
for
be
inviting
talking
me.
about that festival that's coming up.
Okay.
And we also want to be talking about some of the other good news that we've got for Muslims everywhere.
Very good.
The Muslims in the news today really do have an up and a down side, and I want to talk about both of those. The news that we get from the regular media oftentimes is a spin to the negative side, the downside, but we want to find some upturn and some happy events here. So we're going to take this break, and then when we come back, we're going to start with one story after the other. Stay right where you are and get guided with
Guide Us TV.
Yes, TV.
I like the way you guys say that.
Guide Us TV.
Welcome Sheikh Yusuf Estes and the newly converted Muslims.
MashaAllah. Newly converted Muslims. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Oh, I love this. And you can watch it anytime if you just get the apps, the free apps for iPhones, iPads, also the smartphones. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. The smartphones and the Android phones, you'll be able to do it real easy, and it is free, and you can watch it anytime.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. We're about ready to give some more shahadas, and you can join us. You can also help donate. Donate online at guideus.tv. Yeah, guideus.tv/donate. Allahu Akbar. And you can be helping these people get to Islam too. Allahu Akbar. Allah gives the hidayah. He guides the people with Guide Us TV.
Get guided. Guide Us TV.
What do you think about a Muslim driver that gets paid $240,000 for not delivering his load?
I think he's got a pretty sweet deal.
That's a sweet deal. It's not as sweet as it sounds.
Yes.
I made it sound like that, but in reality, yeah, there was a bit of a story behind this. There are 2 Muslim brothers by the name Muhammad and Bushail, and they obeyed Allah and they won by not delivering alcohol. This is kind of a long story here, but we'll sum it up by saying that they were truck drivers. I think they're OTR, over the road, probably.
Oh, yeah.
And they were contractors and delivering different products. And they were being told that they had to deliver alcohol. So they didn't do it, and then they wound up in a court battle over that and did not deliver the alcohol. They got fired from their jobs.
Yeah,
They went to court and they won $240,000, almost $250,000. See, that's good news.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but he was sticking to his faith, and he
Yes.
did not care about his job, so he got rewarded.
Well, we put some images up here. These are just images that we took arbitrarily from the internet and posted them up, played with them a little bit, but we wanted you to get kind of the feel for it. So when you read this story in details, you can find out the importance of sticking to your guns, basically. But no, don't get an idea, we're not promoting guns.
Yeah.
No,
Not promoting guns. But by the way, we have Tim with us, and Tim, you know about guns.
I do. I'm a bit of a Second Amendment supporter. In fact, I have quite a few guns. I teach a couple classes, and I have a concealed carry permit.
And you're a Muslim now.
And I'm a Muslim.
Yeah, you got double red tagged.
I do. And, you know, everyone looks at me weird anymore, but it's all right. It's funny because as soon as I became a Muslim, everyone's like, you have guns? But nobody asked me before.
Well, I want to tell you, stick to your rights.
I will.
We want to be very clear about this, that if anybody has an interest in firearms, you should always check with people who are experts in the field to know what you're talking about, what you're doing, to learn to properly use firearms, and when not to carry,
What are
Yes.
your
and
rights
how.
and what are not.
Talk to your local
Yeah.
police department.
Yeah, yeah.
They have all the information. They'll
Believe it
tell
or
you how
not,
to go.
yes, the police department
Yes.
is the place you start.
They will help you.
Yes, they will. And if you don't, they'll help you later.
Yes, they will. They will.
So, well, I want to talk about something that's really been in the news just today, as a matter of fact. What took place down in, or up in Afghanistan and Pakistan? Now, Doctor, what country are you from
I'm
originally?
from Pakistan, and yesterday the earthquake was 7.8 on the Richter scale, and today it was even stronger, 8.1 Richter scale, and in both countries about 200 people died and many more injured, and we pray for all of them. And
Ameen.
they need du'as and help from everybody who has concern for the humanity and so on.
Well, I also wanted to come back to this subject now. You just gave us some new information. You said an 8.1 hit today.
Yes, in
They call those aftershocks.
aftershocks. Aftershocks are maybe a new one, and that affected all the whole Pakistan from Peshawar to Islamabad to Lahore to Karachi, and but the maximum strength was in the northern area, which is Peshawar, close to the border of Afghanistan.
Actually,
But people are very courageous. They are helping, and they said Pakistan declared even that even without the help of any foreign assistance, we can take care of our people. We can do, and many people they are out to helping those affected people.
well, now that's good that you mentioned this, because I've got something up on the screen right now. I'm going to try to enlarge it a little bit. This is not from our website, but it's out there, so we can put it up. Showing the people actually running from the earthquake that hit there today. Okay, so this is was originally it was a 7.5 magnitude, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's showing us now some of the damage done there. This home is nothing left but a ladder and a doorway and rocks. And initially that was a 7.7, but then it was,
Yeah, that was yesterday, 7.7.
yeah. So they called it 7.5, but today is 8.1. Here we go.
Yes, that was in Pakistan.
Yeah.
The epicenter, I think, that was in Pakistan.
So
And,
we've had two then.
yes.
There's a 7.5 here. Okay, Tajikistan was probably also feeling a lot of that.
Yeah, Tajikistan is also neighboring country, a little bit north or of Afghanistan.
They say that the weather there is going to be dry for the next several days, inshallah ta'ala, with a high pressure over that region. And according to the meteorologist, Eric Leister, he says that the conditions feel warm enough that during the day, but still chilly at night. Low temps falling near below 0 centigrade, which is freezing on the
Yes,
Fahrenheit.
yes.
that the Afghanis may be able to. That was coming up in the middle of the week, but it still means that if they don't get really cold and also they don't get a lot of water or something or snow, that they might be able to do some digging out over there. They
Yeah,
had,
those are,
I think they had.
very have a good stamina, very hard, tough people, and they know how to handle these kind of things. And inshallah, they will be able to do that. And the today's earthquake, the good thing is that it happened during the daytime, about 2 p.m. Today, local time, Pakistan time.
Okay, how can we translate that to be the good thing? You said the good thing about it.
Because if the
Better
people,
than,
yeah, if people were sleeping, if it were night,
that'd be bad, huh?
it would be bad. But the moment they start, they felt, they ran out of the houses, out of the offices, and so many lives were saved. And that is a good from that point of view. That they were not sleeping, they were active, they could take immediate action to get out of the buildings.
Let me ask this question. From your background, you've been Muslim all your life.
Yes.
I'm sure you've heard of some of the stories from our Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, called Hadith,
Yes.
wherein he told us that if someone dies from a headlong fall,
Yes.
or drowning, or a
Yes.
lady in childbirth,
Yes.
or burned up in a fire,
Yes.
and several others that are all qualified to be considered that maybe, inshallah, they receive martyrdom,
Yes,
and go to the highest level of paradise.
Yes, this shows how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful, the most merciful, Ghafurur Rahim, and our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam hadith also support that, because he was also pure embodiment of mercy, and this is very unique in Islam, that the Prophet was merciful, and it is a quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he represented the Ghafurur Rahim, and he dealt everybody and he gave good. So I think it is true.
Well, what I wanted to maybe elaborate on a little bit is the subject here of somebody dying in an earthquake.
Yes.
This is still buildings falling down, is still, something horrendous. I remember now one of the other things he said of dying of a disease of sorts. So these things that qualify somebody for this very high status in the next life. Also, we remember that there were some people that were martyred or died during Hajj. I can't say martyred, but died during the Hajj. We hope that they also would get that status.
Well, as long as they believe in one God, Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because that is the only thing where you can say if that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may not forgive. But besides that, Allah is a Ghafurur Rahim, and He can, this is the only condition.
Well, that is, again, we're trying to pull good out of devastation here.
You are right that those people, they will be definitely on the high consideration.
Inshallah. I remember one of our teachers telling us that the condition is that they have to remain patient through it, and they have to continue their belief.
Yes.
If they would give up their belief in Allah at the last minute, then that would be devastating, obviously. All right, well, now this covers a little bit of this story, but what we wanted to do is encourage you to click on this link right here, and we're going to give you a little bit of this right now. So listen up, and we're going to move now to our website called Islam Newsroom.
You're watching the Newsroom, Islam Newsroom. The news you want, when you want it, from the Islamic perspective. I'm Yusuf Estes, and this is Islam Newsroom. Earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, typhoons, and all in the same week? How about this? Earthquakes are occurring every single hour all around this planet. yet we hardly notice. What's going on? What about the prophecies and the predictions of the earthquakes? Zalzala. It's known in Islam that in the last days, earthquakes will be so frequent that everybody will experience them all around the globe. Today in California, you would be amazed at how many earthquakes of high magnitudes have struck throughout the Andreas Fault. You'd be surprised, too, to learn how many earthquakes and the great magnitudes that are happening all the way from the far northern Pacific in the Aleutian Islands near Alaska all the way down to Samoa, the Philippines, and Indonesia. This is not something new. This is something that's been going on for a long time, but it's increasing both in frequency and intensity. We're going to be talking about that and the prophecies, the predictions, and where we are in these days of the quakes. All that and more coming up right here on Islam Newsroom. We're going to take this break and be right back with more Islam Newsroom. Islamnewsroom.com.
Guidance TV.
I'm Yusuf Estes for Guidus TV. Are you fed up with watching some of these commercial channels that are out there now? The information that's coming to us twisted or improper and things that we don't want our kids to watch. So that's why we have Guidus TV. And we're broadcasting all over the United States, Canada, Alaska, Hawaii, the Caribbean islands, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No commercial interruptions, no advertising, and no subscription rate. All of that to keep it free, to keep Islam out there in front of the people, Muslims and non-Muslims alike, enjoying and benefiting from these great shows. And our live programs coming to us on a regular basis from great scholars in the United States, Canada, and around the world, showing us, teaching us in the English language how to deal with the problems we all face every day from the Islamic perspective. That's what I'm talking about. So we all come away with a much better understanding and a way to deal with life's problems.
Get guided. Oh, Guidus TV.
My name is Abu Hafsa Abdul Malik Claire, and if you don't know, you should know. You're watching Guidus TV. But guess what? Guidus TV is available on your phones now. It's available on your iPhone, on your iPod, on your iPad, on your Android, all over the smartphones. It is available on your App Store or your Play Store. It is FREE free. Go there, download it, install it, play it, enjoy it, and share it. And remember, get guided with Guidus TV. Now available on your App Store, Guidus TV. Go to your App Store today, search for Guidus TV, download, and enjoy.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You're watching Guidus TV. This is Islam Newsroom on Monday night instead of last night. We were on the road or in the airplanes all over the place coming back from Missouri. Want to give you a little update on that. That's not on the Islam Newsroom's website yet, but we can talk about it.
I think we can.
Tim was there with us, and let's talk about that. We were in two cities there in Missouri.
We were in Rolla and we were in St. Louis, actually. Rolla first. And it
Rolla.
Was Rolla. And it was a good trip. We ended up, there was a conference there, and the Sheikh spoke on the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And there was a little rocky at first, but it got off to a good start.
A late start as usual.
A late start as usual. And then we packed up and we headed down to, well, I guess up.
Wait, don't leave out the good part.
Oh, you're talking about the Christian in the back of the room?
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, we had a Christian that stood up in the back of the room and decided to vocally, while we were recording,
Try to debate the answer that we were giving you.
try to debate the answer that we were giving him. And it was I don't want to say it was comical, but it was entertaining at best, because most of the information that he gave was inaccurate, to be quite frank. And he was misquoting a lot of things from the Bible.
You know what, though, Tim? I really feel that he probably got it just like I did when I was young, growing up. I heard all of those things. It wasn't until I really read the Bible that I realized it doesn't really say that.
Yeah.
Especially when you read different translations, you get a
Yes.
better proximity of what's going on. You feel like you're more in tune with what's happening there.
Yes.
At least I did. I didn't realize the difference between the Old and the New Testament. You have this feeling of there's God, and then He created everything, and then there's the people there, and they're all under His dominion.
Yes.
But then when you start reading the New Testament, it's almost like you've got a different kind of a belief there.
Yes, you do.
It seems a bit different. In fact, after you begin to understand more about the real truth behind the compilation, and I think some of the interpretation as well,
Yes.
you realize that this has got a big influence from the mystic religion
Yes,
that was
it does.
prevalent in, I think it was Tarsus at that time.
Yes, yes.
Paul or Saul was from Tarsus, and he had been heavily influenced, even though he was a Jew, he was heavily influenced by mysticism and this kind of a mystic background, that's how
Yes.
you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to say it, actually.
Yeah. So we have to always be kind to people when
Yes.
they're, even if he wanted to actually, I think, have confrontation.
Yes, he did.
But we don't do that.
No.
That's not our thing. We just like move forward.
Exactly.
Then we had a very good experience when we had the young lady that come up
Yes.
as we were going out of the building. If you'll remember, we were going out of the
Yes.
masjid
Yes.
at that stage, and she came up and she wanted to talk about how she could be a Muslim.
She did.
And she did.
She did the next day, actually.
And then she put on the hijab, and
She did.
that was good.
She
I
actually
liked it.
took Shahada with us while we were recording.
That's true.
Yes.
That was nice.
Very interesting. I
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just when the interview was going on, and she was impressed, and Allah changes the heart whenever He wants of anybody.
It was a very powerful moment.
We had two
We
ladies.
Did. Yes, we did.
There
Yes.
were two separate occasions, one in Rolla
One in St. Louis.
and one in St. Louis.
Yes,
Let's
right
talk
after-
about St. Louis.
Well, St. Louis actually happened right after our live broadcast.
Yeah.
You know, I had stepped down off the stage to start handing out some of the Guide Us TV bumper stickers and the promotionals that we give out for donations. And she went up on stage with Sheikh Yusuf here. And it was interesting because I was actually in the back of the masjid talking to two Christians. And she ended up taking Shahada in that moment. And I stopped the conversation I was having and had them listen to what was being said. And they were really very moved. It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, and along the way, we gave out a lot of bumper stickers.
We did. If your
We
neighbor's
gave it-
car has one, that's why.
Yeah, if you wind up with if you wind up tomorrow morning with a bumper sticker on your car, we did advise all the brothers to take an extra one for your neighbor and just slap it on while they're asleep.
Yes, I take blame for that one.
If you go, hey, how did I get a Guide Us TV bumper sticker on my car and I didn't even donate?
Now you know. If you have a bumper sticker, though, you are required to donate
Yeah, you are required by law.
by law.
We just made that law up.
We did. We really did.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh, we have fun.
Yeah, we do. Well, there we go. We had a little bit of a hiccup a little while ago. If you missed that, you missed something kind of funny. But we want to come back now to the news. We were talking about these earthquakes. And also, we had occasion to find a good news out of the earthquake, which was that anybody dying in any of these real horrific situations, even cancer or diseases, this is eligible for them to go straight to the highest place in the paradise, and that we pray for that. Wanted to come back, though, to a story we mentioned and come to the point of what we say the good news is. Our brother Shoaib, I believe you knew.
Yes, Shoaib Abukar, he was a Somali brother living on the northeast side of Columbus, Ohio. And he went out for dining with his family, wife and 6 kids, to a restaurant on Sawmill and Dublin Granville Road, the Gold Carol restaurant. And the time was 6:30. I mean, many people. But when he came out with the family, the point, the area from where he came out, it was a little bit darker. And so somebody came and grabbed the wallet or the purse of his wife or his wallet, and he wanted some money. And he probably resisted, and the attacker, he shot him 3, because one of the lady who went to the neighboring restaurant, she said, I heard 3 shots. And so after shooting him, there was a vehicle standing by the side, so he jumped into that, and they left the scene, and the police is still hunting for them, and they are still not caught. But it is a very, very tragic scene, and it is leaving 6 kids. It is very tragic, but it is probably in the Mashiach, or in the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what our part is, and many Muslims they are doing that we should help those 6 kids and the mom to take care of and to adjust to the new situation.
There's a good point about this. Number one is that, yeah, we can do something about this, and we already have. We started last night in the Dublin Masjid called Masjid Noor.
Yes.
And already they said this morning they had raised $600.
Yes.
And that was without any kind of real notice, and now they're raising more tonight. We also visited Masjid Omar tonight.
That's right.
They are in the process, as we speak now, they're raising funds over there to go on a regular basis. What we've said is, don't just do something one time and then forget about it. If you want to be a part of helping raise these children, there are 6 orphans here.
Yes.
Our Prophet ﷺ told us that whoever is taking care of an orphan, raising them up, is like this with me in the paradise.
In the paradise. That's right.
So I want to be part of that, and I want to encourage all of us to be part of that.
The central organization who's taking a role in this is Muslim Family Services. All the donations are the people who are raising masajid, they are giving them, and they have also their website, mfs.com, mfs.org, where you can go and donate for orphans, for particularly orphans of this weekend.
Yeah.
And,
also, I'd like to mention this, folks. We have Donate to Islam. That's the one that you always hear us talk about. Donate to Islam is a general website for all of our services, for the broadcasting, for the websites, for the free Quran mail-outs, and so on. You'll be able to go to that. If you'll watch now what I'll show you how it works. There are 2 things you can do. First, let me remind you to text the word Islam to number 41444. Again, that's Islam to the phone number 41444. When you do that, what happens, it does not charge your phone anything. It will send you a link, and then you click the link, and that will take you to the website, and you can find what you'd like to support.
right.
Alternately, you can just go directly to donatetoislam.com, which we're going to do right now, and you'll see that we have something going on there. That's our Free Quran project. You see that we also have supporting the channels that we broadcast on in Dallas, Fort Worth, Los Angeles, New York, now Houston as well, and then here in Columbus, Ohio. This is on the antennas. Then we also have the Guide Us TV project for the children, the Recite on TV project, and also Recite Quran, the free Quran mail-out. And all of these until the end of this month,
Yes.
everything that starts tonight, now
Yes.
this is Monday night, starting tonight, everything that is donated for these, any of these projects,
Yes.
or the 41444 project, all of that from the proceeds is going to go a portion to these children. Now this is going to be a one-time deal.
Yes.
And that will give a nice little bundle for them to get started with.
Yes.
Then what we're encouraging the Muslim Family Services and all of them to do is to set up a trust fund so that these children have a regular income every month.
I think that is what we should do.
Yes.
Yeah,
is what-
that's the only logical thing. Because if you said, well, even if you said we raised $100,000 in one night,
Yes.
I promise you that 2 months later it'll be gone.
That's right.
Because people will come in and say, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Why don't you invest in multi-level marketing or la, 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 and it'll all be gone.
And they're going to need money for years to come.
Yeah,
so
they
it's important.
let me tell you, the oldest child is only 10.
That's right.
Probably you got an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, I don't know. I'm guessing.
The youngest, I think, is 1 or 2 years old.
Yeah.
And, yes.
So you're talking about an ongoing kind of a thing that needs to continue,
Yes.
Yeah, this is called Sadaqah Jariyah.
That's right.
You keep it going.
Ongoing charity. Sadaqah Jariyah.
But now, brothers and sisters, this gives you and I an opportunity to do something we didn't even have a chance at before, which is to be with Prophet ﷺ like this in Jannah.
Yes, that's right.
We're talking about, when you say, I want to donate to a masjid, okay, you help build the masjid, Allah builds a house for you in Jannah, that's nice.
Yes.
But you got to get there.
Yes.
You got to get there.
for our
I'm
fund,
saying,
yes.
look at this, next to Rasul Sallallahu
Yes. And for our funds, your zakat money,
Yes.
which is obligatory, that is also, that can be applied, your zakat money.
Yes, absolutely. I want to encourage all of us again on this to do what you can do. Ask Allah to accept it, but know that all of us are going to be working as much as we can. And if you have incidents that take place in your area, please don't hesitate to contact us, write to us, or you can call us. We're going to put a phone number on the screen in a minute. We're going to take a little break, but when we come back, we're going to have a phone number on the screen that you'll be able to call and tell us what's going on in your area, if you've got something there that needs to be supported, or if you want to do something to support the effort we're talking about. So don't go away. We're going to be right back after this and get guided
With Guide Us TV.
TV.
I love that.
Guide Us TV.
Welcome Sheikh Yusuf Estes and the newly converted Muslims.
MashaAllah. Newly converted Muslims. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Oh, I love this. And you can watch it anytime if you just get the apps, the free apps for iPhones, iPads, also the smartphones. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. The smartphones and the Android phones, you'll be able to do it real easy, and it is free, and you can watch it anytime.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. We're about ready to give some more shahadas, and you can join us. You can also help donate. Donate online at guideus.tv. Yeah, guideus.tv/donate. Allahu Akbar. And you can be helping these people get to Islam too. Allahu Akbar. Allah gives the hidayah. He guides the people with Guide Us TV.
Guide Us TV.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You're back with us, or we're back with you. How does that work?
I think they're back with us.
Yeah, we never left.
I was going to say, I never went anywhere unless you went for popcorn.
I want to talk to you about websites. We were just talking about it off camera. And usually we never promote any other websites because too often they go out of business or somebody else forgets to pay for it and things happen.
Yes.
But in this case, Muslim Family Services, that's mfsohio.org.
Okay.
I wanted to
okay.
correct that because
Thank
I know
you,
a lot
thank
of
you. I did
people,
not, remember there
there's
was
no
a
such
full
thing
name.
as a three-letter.org that's available on the planet anymore. Okay, I knew that. But mfsohio.org. And if you want to send them an email, it's help@mfsohio.org. Phone number is 614-470-2848. And that's Muslim Family Services. It's associated with the Noor Masjid in Hilliard or Dublin.
Ohio, it is a border of Hilliard and
Yeah, you can almost go either way on that.
And the brothers, Alauddin and Anas, they're very good, and they are taking care of the family services.
He was the first person I called as soon as we found out about it on Saturday. Saturday, we were still in Missouri. And I called him right away. He's one of my top star things to call. Anytime I have a problem, I got him under fixed problems. Okay, Honest, fix it. Because every time we have anything, I call him, Honest, help, and he's right there ready to go.
He told such a strange story, but I think it happened on 6:30 on Friday, and the news was not broken late by the police, and the next day by Columbus Dispatch. But Honest, he knew way before he came to know that. So he keeps himself very on the top updated.
And their website again is Ohio MFS. You can go straight to .org, Ohio MFS.
Yes.
It's strange that it says it both ways. I don't know. Maybe they own both of them. Let's try that. mfsohio.org. Yeah, it's the same one.
They own them both.
They own both of them, MFS Ohio and Ohio MFS. I usually, when I do the same thing.
Yes.
I buy backward for. I own ReciteTheQuran.com and ReciteQuran.com.
That is being smart.
But I don't promote both those names though because it gets too confusing.
Yeah, that is a smart way of doing, and they are doing good job. And
we're really proud of them.
One reason I mentioned was that so that you can pledge monthly donations because they are going to have ongoing expenses, and that is you can go on website and pledge monthly donation from your checking account or.
Mike, you were talking about college.
I was.
University.
I'd like to point out my name is Tim. It didn't just change in the break. But, college today is expensive. And I'm sure many of you have your kids, your sons or daughters in college. And you know that it's expensive because I'm sure they're not paying for it. And you think the oldest is 10 years old. So what's college going to cost for her in 8 years? It's going to be through the roof. And they're going to need help to pay for that. And so we need to give them as much as we can, and we need to give it over as long of a time as possible because they're going to need help not only today, but tomorrow and the day after. And the bills are going to pile up. And speaking from my own personal experience, because I lost my own mother, there are things that we don't even think about, bills we don't even think about that need to get paid. So it's very important that not only we give, an immediate donation, but think about giving a monthly fund, whether it's $50, $25, anything you can, so that we can give them as much as we can for as long as we can.
That's right. Thank you.
Another thing that we want to talk about is that if you would like to start something in your masjid or your school or wherever to help this family, you can consider this is a tax deductible item.
Yes.
And you're also fulfilling your responsibility by giving a portion of your zakat. We never suggest you donate all your zakat to one thing. No. Our Prophet ﷺ didn't do that.
There are 8 categories that you can give in them.
And you can give some to all 8 if you want to.
Yes, you can.
But do take care of these orphans for this reason, because our Prophet ﷺ promised, who takes care of the orphan is
Right,
with me in
read it,
paradise
right,
like this.
like this.
And all of us do that because
Yes, yes.
we know how he did
We all
it.
want
Let
it.
people know that this is.
It's for real.
Yes.
And I want you to know that we're not just telling you to do this. Each and every one of us sitting up here is actually donating monthly.
That's
so
right.
we're practicing what we're preaching.
Inshallah ta'ala, that's a very good
Inshallah.
thing. Now, I wanted to move on to some of the other news items that we've got, and we might be able to have a little time to come back to it later, but maybe not. I wanted to move on to, you mentioned something about the sun rising from the west.
I did.
Is the earth shifting? And let's take a look at this one. This is an article you really need to read. It's not something we're going to be able to cover in big details today, but you can go there and read the details because some of it is scientific numbers and calculations, etc. But the earth has shifted on its axis back and forth as much as, if you take a look at this, 23 degrees. And you can see that, okay? Now, you won't notice that when you're on the earth, but what you notice is a change in the climate.
So you mean I won't get to walk sideways?
You will not be walking sideways or upside down.
I was excited.
But if the earth rotates or counter-rotates backward, or, you know, we're not saying this kind of rotation, because the earth keeps on turning. It's
Yes,
going to keep turning. But when it rolls over, like if you have a gyroscope, you've seen how it goes?
have.
And then it'll appear, because it's still going the same way, but now it's got the axis rolled all the way over. It'll look like the earth, from the earth point of view, it looks like the sun is coming from the other side.
Yes.
And one of the things our prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, that the last day will not come until you see the sun rising from where it sets.
Yes. Yes.
And at the time, there were people who said, oh, now how can that happen? And then in the recent years, scientists said, that's totally impossible. You guys are nuts. You don't believe that? Now they're saying, well, we don't think it could happen soon,
Yeah.
but it could happen.
They're changing their stance.
Yep, their science is ready to change, like some religions, actually. Anyway, it's called the Earth's Tilt. Here's the story about it. And it is going off at about 1.26 milliseconds, a millionth of a second. So they're saying, okay, it's not a big deal, except that when we wrote this article some time back, it's already changed and increased since then. So we'll see what goes with it. Let's move on to another story. We've been talking also about something called the Sharia. And in fact, well, Sharia in general.
Yes.
The Sharia subject that we spoke about when we were in St. Louis, you
were
guys
live.
were following us on our live broadcast, we spoke about this, and we talked about Sharia. And we said to the Jews, they had a lady was Jewish with us, and we
Yes.
said, what do you say about this word called Torah?
Yeah.
Said, this is good. We asked the Christians, we had some Catholic, we said, what is
Canon
law? They said, good, good, go. We said Sharia, they said, boom. Even some Muslims said, no, no good. And we said, Sharia actually is the same word, only in Arabic, as canon law or Torah. And I was explaining to you, if you want to sit there and argue, you go ahead and say what you want to say, but listen carefully. If you allow legislation to be passed against religion, regardless of the religion, once they have something in place that sets a precedent,
For one,
then a judge in the future will do what's called stare decisis, meaning that because you already have that on the books, I'm not even going to bother to argue it. It's there. That's what we're going to do to your Torah. That's what we're going to do to your canon law. And then you've got maybe a judge sitting there who doesn't care about religion at all, maybe not even a religious person, and he says, good, we're done with all of that nonsense. Forget it.
Yes.
Then you want to talk about religion in public or on television?
Gone.
And guess, and if you're saying, oh, that could not happen here, excuse me, go to today's news in the UK. Today in the UK, United Kingdom, that's exactly what they're talking about doing. There are some atheists over there that are hot to trot to pass legislation there to completely shut down Islamic TV. And then in the article, it goes on to say that any other TV that wants to say something that disagrees with us, they should be shut down too.
This is true.
This is what it says.
We can't
Read
let that
between the
happen.
lines. Well, you don't have to read between the lines too much. It's pretty clear. Let's go down to coming back now to the earthquakes. We talked about that, and we showed you that you can also watch the whole video there. We cut it off because I wanted to come back to these other articles, but that video there is almost a half hour long about the videos, the predictions, the prophecies of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I want you to see that whole entire thing, because it's as true today as when we recorded it some time back. Now we want to talk about the sunnah, the better. Get that? The sooner the better. All right. Okay.
You out there should be laughing.
Yes.
Sunnah,
Yeah.
what
If
would
you're
you
not
do?
laughing, these jokes will get worse, I promise.
And we can hear you. This is a two-way set. I can see you.
No, it's not. You can't lie. Anyway, we want to talk about sunnah and fard. Some people have the misconception that fard is something you have to do, but sunnah, it's like optional. And sunnah actually only means what the Prophet ﷺ said or did, and that is not optional. It is not optional. If he told you clearly do this, then that's not an optional thing. If he said your Lord said do this or do that, that means it's just as valid as if coming from Quran, because this is something, it's part and parcel of our religion. And if the Prophet, peace be upon him, said pray 5 times a day, that's what we do. You don't find that in the Quran. It doesn't say it in the Quran, pray 5 times a day. But you find this clearly in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ.
That is right. That is right.
And then also talking about the fasting of Ramadan. When it says in Quran, you fast
For
from the
few days,
time
yes.
from the time when you're able to distinguish a white thread and a black thread.
Yes.
This is an expression. But if you don't know that and you take a black thread and a white thread and you lay it down there, the sun's going to be up in the air before you can even see that.
Yes.
And so when somebody did that at the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the hadith tells us that he said, no, it doesn't mean that. It means the white thread of day against the black thread of night.
Yeah.
That's what's called Fajr in the Arabic language. All right, that time of the day. So you understand that whenever the prayer comes in at Fajr, that's when exactly that you got to be ready to start fasting then, no food or drink. I wanted to just show you something about the beard though. Now this picture you see here with the big curly mustache, now part of that is really his beard curled up. But our Prophet, peace be upon him, did not like those big handlebar mustaches with no beard. Because the people of Isfahan at that time were enemies to them, and he didn't like that, and he told us not to do that. The gentleman you see here now, you notice that beautiful silver beard that he's got? This is what our Prophet ﷺ encouraged us, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow.
Yeah.
Now, here's the excuses on the beard question. What if somebody has a serious skin problem? All right. What if his wife has a skin problem and is irritated by the beard? What if he can't grow a beard? Or what if he just doesn't like the look of the beard? Well, D, he doesn't like the look of it, then he needs to learn how to comb it. He needs to learn how to deal with it. But chopping it off is not the answer. It's supposed to be left alone. That's what it says. And here is the story. If you want to click on it and get the whole story, this is a video about it and help you to better understand about the sunnah of the beard, insha'Allah ta'ala. We're going to move on to another one of our stories right now. And I would like to share this with you that we're going to go down one line here and go to, here's a gentleman who just really does not like Islam at all. And he came over to our country and was asked to leave because he was causing so much fitna, violence, chaos, and so on from his hatred, animosity, and intolerance of Islam. And let's see if we can get that to work here. There we go. This story has a nice turn to it, though, at the end, because I'll share with you this. I like to make it bigger so folks at home can kind of read along with me. He went to Australia, but he's not from there. He's actually a part of a very liberal alliance party, a right-wing anti-Islam political party originating its roots in the Netherlands.
Oh, I
He's
see.
from Amsterdam. He's there in Holland and in the Netherlands. So he has spread a lot of hatred, and he actually helped produce a movie against Islam. And his partner in this whole operation was named Arnoud Van Dort, I think it was. I forgot his last name now. Anyway, his partner decided to investigate Islam to find out more about it. You know, because the more you know about something, the more you can make fun of it, attack it, or do whatever. But as he was studying, he said, wait a minute, hold on a second. This is right.
Yeah,
He became a Muslim.
that happens quite a bit.
Yes.
And actually, if you want to know more about that, we have that story on another part of our websites. You can do that. Let me open up a new tab here for you. We need to go to our version of Google. That's called searchforislam.com. And there you have Islam questions. You want to search for Islam, then just go to shakegoogle.com. So let's type in Arnoud, and let's see what we find here. I think this is the subject right there. Yeah, we are. Yep. Geert Wilder's friend and the son of his friend came into Islam with Dr. Muhammad Salah, Mufti Mink, Yusuf Estes, and Zakir Naik, and it was all right here. You can see his partner right there with Mufti Mink. If you were watching Guidance TV today, you know Mufti Mink has a program with us.
Yeah.
And you can see them standing there together. There they are. That happened in Dubai. Then we took his son to the zoo in Ras Al Khaimah. And while we were at the zoo, a young lady came up to me at the zoo in Ras Al Khaimah. That's the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
The young lady came up to me and she said, "You're Yusuf Estes." I said, "Well, I'm glad to know that."
Yeah.
And she had a label on her, but I didn't have one on me. But she said, "I'm watching your DVD. Somebody just gave it to me. Oh my God. And this must be a sign." So we started talking. She wasn't a Muslim. About 20 minutes later, she raised her finger up and she said, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah." She started crying. Everybody was happy. All these people, they were leaving because it was closing up the zoo. Yeah, and Arnold and his son got the bug, and they said, man, they want to really help people get to Islam, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're all about now. And he has a Facebook page. Let me share with you again his name. Let's see if we find it on here. I made everybody's name big. There it is. Van
Dorna.
No, there's no A at the end of it. That's my mistake in the typing.
Van Dorn.
Van Dorn. Yeah, let me see it. So go down. No, it looks like Van Dorn after all. It says it there too.
Yeah.
Van Dorna.
Yeah.
I think it is, something like that. Alex. His name is Alexa Van Dorna, and he's the son of Arnoud Van Dorna. Yep, that's it. He came to Islam at the convention. That was amazing. Dr. Muhammad Salah, Mufti
This
Mink.
convention was in Dubai, or where was that?
Dubai. Yep,
okay.
yep. Now, Arnold already had accepted Islam when he came.
Okay.
But he brought his son along just, to see what's going on. And then his son said, this is right for me too. That was really a beautiful, beautiful time. And now, before we go off the air, I want to tell you guys, tomorrow we're leaving, we'll be going to Turkey. Guidance TV is going to be going to Turkey. We might be able to broadcast live from there. A very big convention with over 100 scholars. We have more than 100 presenters will be there in Turkey for one of the biggest peace conventions ever held in that part of the world. So that's coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you get a chance Tune in to Guidance TV. I can't promise anything right now because we don't have solid arrangements for broadcasting yet. But if we're able to, I want Guidance TV to present this live for you. If not, we will have recordings of the events, inshallah, available just in the next few days after that. Inshallah ta'ala, if God wills.
Let us make the local news also about the booth we have reserved.
Yeah, we're coming to this.
Oh.
Okay, yes. Following the Turkey event, we may be going into Qatar and into UAE again. We're looking forward to that. All of this depends on Allah accepting our prayers, because that obviously we can't do anything without Allah's
Yeah,
qadr.
may Allah accept it.
And then next, we want to tell you about the 7th of November.
7th and 8th.
And go ahead, tell us about
Yeah,
it.
7th is major. It is time is from 10 to 9, and 8th is 10 to 6. So this is local in Columbus, Ohio. We are going to have Columbus International Festival. Guide Us TV has reserved a booth over there, and it is being held at Celeste Hall of Ohio State Fairgrounds on 17th Avenue. And we like all the viewers and the people in Ohio and the surrounding states to come over there and get guided from Guide Us TV.
Ameen,
Yeah.
ameen.
Yeah, I like
That
all
sounds
that.
great.
Yeah,
Well, in our last few minutes right here, we want to do a recap of the news, what you just saw here today. I'm sorry we couldn't get the phone call thing to set up and make it work. We tried, but that's another problem that we have. Anyway, we talked about the beer truck or alcohol truck anyway, that the brothers didn't drive. They got fired, but they got something good came out of it.
Oh, yeah.
We know that our brother that was shot and killed, and without any doubt, somebody that goes through something like that, as a believer, it should be Allah put them in the best place. So he have this good thing. And his children, inshallah, we're going to be taking care of. You and I are going to share that responsibility, and that'll be good for the children and good for us.
Yeah, we pray for the children because they saw the
This-
death of their father.
That's why everybody hold on, because we're going off the air now, okay?
Okay.
Okay, also the sun rising from the west. This is proving the prophecies. The Sharia banking, we didn't get into it too deep, but read the article and see for yourself and get guided with.
Guide Us TV.
I love the way you say that.